Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 420th Knowledge Seekers Workshop here on Thursday, February 17th, 2022. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute Education Department and part of the public teachings in English. My name is Rick Crammond, and I'll be host today as usual in these workshops. And as usual, we are also joined by Mr. Mayran Keshe of the Keshe Foundation, who I think is there in the background ready to go, but I'm not sure because he was in transit a while ago. Hello, Mr. Keshe, are you there?
Yes, good morning, good day to you. As usual, wherever we listen to this series of knowledge seekers of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute teachings and adding to the knowledge. It is coincidental and it's happening much more often than before. Just before we start the session, Rick says there's such a intro I would like to play. And I told him, yes, this is what part of the teaching of today would be. And we add to this knowledge. We have to understand more and more of this knowledge. We have to understand why what we had in the present physics was accepted, but never understood the reason for it. What happens in the totality of the knowledge of the matter and plasma, and how we interact in the matter state, how we interact with the plasma state. And what is the next step in the world of science? We have to understand from now on, we have no choice. We are responsible for our own existence to be able to understand the Porter state. This is the time of Mitra, which means for the first time, we see the soul and we see the physicality, and we can interact and interchange the energy fields of one to the other. This is the time of the creation. This is the time of understanding the process of creation. Why, up to now, in a matter state, we said we can mix these kind of materials together, but we cannot do that. Why can we mix water or liquid parts, some of them together, and still some stay separate? Why can we make alloys of some matter states, but not of the others? But does this apply in the dimension of the plasma state of the same entity? Go back to book number 3, or number 2, or number 1, and read in certain parts, it's been explained fully. There is a picture of ganses, different colors, sitting on top of each other, where we say ganses don't mix. How many times you have created ganses in your system and you see the green in one place, white in the other, different shade of whites together? Because the same as in the world of matter state, ganses, plasmas have the same interference, they have the same separation, they have the same interaction with each other. Now we can explain scientifically, and we can create a condition that shows the science of the new plasma is correct in both matter state and the plasma state, because the matter state itself is another plasma state, but in a different condition of field forces. In the world of matter state, we have learned, we change the pressure, we change the temperature. We start from the water when the matter state, or we can start in what I call ice as a solid state. Heat it up, we get the liquid. Heat it up, we boil it, we get the steam. We heat it up beyond the steam, we get the separation. What happens? How do we heat up in plasma state? How do we create a condition of separation of fields of the plasma? There is no heating. We have confirmed that in many researches and many developments in the reactors. In the condition of the matter state, we change atmospheric pressure and temperature to change the manifestation of the physicality. What do we do in the plasma state? We can't heat up, nothing happens. In the plasma state, we change the strength of the magnetic field of the environment. This leads to interaction of more fields or less fields of the plasma with its environment, and it creates and directionally indicates which way it is going. Is it losing or is it gaining energy from its environment? One color up in green is gaining, one color down in yellow is losing. One color up in green, it means I'm a lover. It means I want to give. I see the soul in that green color. I rejoice because I can attain something from it. It can elevate me. I go and see the brown. Do I have to give enough? My job is, my responsibility is to give enough to elevate it to my color at least, or elevate it to become a green that it can give to the others. We change the environment by addition of fields. In matter state, we change the condition by heating, by pressure. Will it come to the point that if we change the magnetic field of the environment of the matter state, we'll see the change in the matter state of the body of the man or in the water? Of course we will, but we never understood this. This is the job of the soul of the man. This is the job of the central position, strength, will force of the existence. You have a problem with your son. You change the beautiful gases which gave life to it, to the solid state more to create a cancer. State is the same. How come a soul decides to go to the strength that become a stone? Still has a feeling, but it cocooned itself in it. In the world of what we call astrophysics or cosmology or anything to do with the space travel in the universe, what happens if you enter an environment that you feel for a soul to survive, it needs to be in a given state. Doesn't matter how long it takes. You become a stone. You become a rock. You change the feel of it. You're still inside, aware of the environment, what's happening. But staying at the rock is good for me. I can survive till I find a solution. Or it's another position, I just stay. Or I want to become a shape of the entity at the point of manifestation, feel the strength. Then you understand it's us through the emotion, feel the strength, that we can change the strength of the plasma. This is why emotion is so important. And this is why maybe for the first time you understand why I put so much emphasis on the emotion. Emotion is that additional heating. Emotion is that additional feel, the strength that the soul of the man in conjunction with the soul of the position decides to manifest itself to distance or to come closer. When you take Earth and move it back to Saturn and Jupiter position, you get gaseous. Move it, change the field of strength and bring it forward. You get more solid with less and no gases. Isn't this what happened to the life of the man? At a young age, when we are born, everything is free and interactive. As we add emotion to it, we create cancer, we create sadness, we create love, we create children. So we understand the strength, the change, what is to be manifested in the dimension of the physicality of the life of the man is the strength of the emotion, magnetic fields of the emotion, which adds to the soul, and the soul of the position and time and space changes. What was created out of love becomes the point of death and creation of cancer. The breast which feeds the child becomes the breast which creates cancer through the emotion that leads to the death of the mother. Now you understand why from the beginning we continuously emphasize on emotion. Emotion is that temperature, is that pressure, which changes the interaction of the field of the plasma, and mankind has never understood. We call it psychosomatic, but somaticism comes out of the cycle, so out of the emotion, psychological pressures and strain. When we look at the brain of the man and we look at the structure of the different strengths of the different points, then we understand how even the emotion is created. And then we understand we have parallel. We change the temperature, we increase it, we melt the ice, we melt the gold, we increase the love, the emotion of giving. We become givers, open up. There is no difference. We have chosen the same emotional effect to two different strengths of the field of the environment because the heat itself is a magnetic field interaction. Then we understand. This is why I continuously in past teaching try to explain the soul, the matter state, the soul, the matter state, that one day the knowledge seekers become wise. We chose in the past the same word for the same thing in different positions and application. We've done the same in the world of creation, world of matter state, world of the creation of the soul. If I take love from you, you die. You become cold, you can't move because the love is not there. But I fell in love. Now I don't receive the love. I want to die. I want to go inside and not exist, become a stone. I lower the temperature. I get ice. I heat up the temperature. I get liquid and vapor to be spread among the whole environment. This is where the world of science becomes important for us in the plasma technology. I reach at the point destination in space that I want to taste, I want to feel, I want the emotion of the environment. I create the plasma that the soul converts into the dimension of some of its strength into the matter state of the position and time in a given distance and position, but the soul can keep its integrity. The tip of the finger, the tip of the tail of the whale, distance from its soul. This is what mankind has to understand. He is in possession of that heating and the pressure called emotion. We have chosen the same word, magnetical and gravitational, heating and pressure, increasing the temperature or reducing the temperature. In essence, it's the same. We create expansion, we create dimension of openness within the structure. And then, if you understand this, then we understand why electron is being created, how some electrons interact with each other. I asked Rick before the teaching, go into the Wikipedia, and if you can, please find covalent bond. Why do we call in the world of chemistry covalent bond? What does it mean? Isn't it a point where the fields of the electrons can share and be together? We have chosen love as a covalent where we can stay together. We can fall in love in the size and the dimension of the life of the man. We call it falling in love, emotion of interaction. Now it's the time to understand how we can bring the soul of the man to become matter state, and how the soul of the physicality of the man can become the soul of the man in interaction and become what we call the covalent, which is the physicality of the man in interaction with the soul of the man and soul of physicality of the man. We coexist. And with it, we lead to the creation of the man. We lead to the manifestation of the new understanding of life. Now we understand if one electron from one atom shares its energy with another electron in another atom, doesn't matter how many other electrons are in there, and these two want to be together, the atoms come together. But they have to have the same strength. They have to have the same structure of field strength. In fact, a covalent bond is the relationship between the magnetic fields of 2 electrons or 4 electrons. And the rest have to accept. And in all structures, you always find is there are some lovers. This is what mankind has to understand. Because at a point in space, you want to become physical. You want to show yourself. You create a wrong strength of the emotion. You leave the door open for the whole universe that now I'm free, take what you like, and the demands of the soul. If you understand the control of the emotion, I want to be, but in respect to the fields of this environment, I want to see how my soul in the dimension of physicality will show on the surface of the moon or in the atmosphere of the planet Zeus. This is what we have to learn. We have to understand that allows us to become the man of the universe. This allows us to be able to transmute between the manifestation of the physicality and manifestation of the fields called plasma. Doesn't matter what strength that plasma has, at one point or another, in another strength field, will be manifesting itself, will be showing itself. And then, what do we call it? And then, by changing the temperature in the room, we see that mystery created in the pot from the ice becomes the water drops on the window with the change of the temperature of the environment. Where on the environment, on the cooking pot, given the strength, given temperature, given certain pressures, the water boils, matter becomes a steam, and in the environment. And then in that environment, it's a different condition. We change the temperature and the pressure, we convert it back into the steam on the window. We give it the dimension of manifestation. The life of the man will be the same. The soul of the man is that environment of the room. And in interaction with the fields of the what we call its environment outside it creates its physical manifestation. The strength of the fields which interact dictates the position and condition of the manifestation of the what we call the plasma in respect to this environment. In a given environment, in a given condition, a field when it interacts with a matter state will create its own position and condition, what we call like viruses. You will take the same cell and change the strength of the fields of the plasma energy and bring them together. You see sometimes they interact, you see sometimes they don't, because they don't have a common denominator field, even though they respect each other's position. But once they interact as a given field of strength, you get that what you call virus. What happened if I tweak with the strength of the plasma before I introduce it to its plasma condition, the gas state, what we call the amino acid, it becomes hepatitis. It becomes AIDS. Tweak it a little bit, it becomes corona, and tweak it a little bit, it becomes every other virus we want to call it. We change the field of strength and interaction with what we call matter state condition of environment. Then you decide the manifestation of how these two show themselves, maybe as a crown, maybe as a different shape or format. In a way, there is no difference between the knowledge of the creation. Is man who has not understood this. Is man, through the lack of understanding of the world of interaction of the fields of the universe, has not managed to understand this position. But if I can create an environment that in this environment, this plasma has and wants to find a new position, then I can propel that this plasma into any direction in the universe, be it to the boundary of the body of the man to make the shape of the man, be it the boundary of the galaxy or universe. Once we understand this, we understand the new transportation and transmutation of the element at the same time. This is where I put you into the vertical enhancement unit. I change you into plasma energy. I take you across to another dimension. I create the field of it. You'll come as a fish. And in another, you'll be a dog. And in another, you'll be a man from the planet Zeus. In fact, the center is the same soul. But in respect to the condition of his environment, has manifested itself in interaction of the emotion of the fields of itself and the environment to the thing with the soul would like to be to find its balance. We have the incarnation of the soul, or do we have the incarnation of the man? Or in the word incarnation is the wrong word to use, is understanding the field, position, and time in respect to evaluation and the manifestation of the soul. Do I reincarnate you from one machine to another? Or do I carry the soul and then the physicality reincarnates according to the position of that machine? I can put a machine on planet Zeus and a machine on Earth. I create the field that the soul of the man becomes one in the soul of physicality within it. I take you to the planet Zeus and I put you in the same machine with the field, the strength of the environment up there. The soul will come is to exist in the middle. And the physicality of the entity will have 20 arms, a head the size of a mouse, and arms the size of the planet. Because that's what dictates to keep the balance of the physicality, soul of physicality, and the soul of the man together. And imagine your next door neighbor turns up the same. You say, "Hi, Jack, how did you end up here? I know the soul, but you look a bit funny. You got 50 legs this time, but you're shorter than mine. I have 80 legs, 10 meters longer than you. What happened? Maybe my soul was a better giver, and here now I show myself in that dimension." Will that be the same when the soul of the man manifests itself in the presence of the soul of the creator? What shall your soul manifest itself in the dimension, in the presence of the soul of the creator? Soul of a giver, soul of a man, soul of a criminal, which is you don't give and you want to take, and there's no room for it till you learn that the giving is the beginning of the position of taking. Now you understand how the world of creation has no plasma, has no matter state, has no emotion, has no nothing. To you decide in what proportion the strength of the field of the universe you would like to interact with or you would like to share with. Next time, when you put the pot on the fire and you heat it up, call it love. And when you take the entity and you put it in the freezer, call it gravitational taking. Now we understand the world of the science is the same, depending on the condition of the strength of the environment and the interaction of the fields in that environment. Now, the world of chemistry, looking from plasmatic field strength of the electrons and protons, not as electrons in the matter state, has totally different meaning. Creates a new horizon in the world of the material development. Do I create the soul of the carbon, and with it, I get a carbon which is beneficial to the society where it is, and I don't create a CO2, which you call it environmental global warming, which damages things. Then even that carbon has a soul to serve. Then what would be the strength of the soul of the man? What would the soul of the man be able to do to all the souls on this planet if it elevates itself to the soul, the strength of the soul of the Creator and its love for Mitra? Mitra is amongst us and it's within us. It's grown to be part of us as is the mother of the creation of all of us. Now we have a physicality where we can praise the beauty of the creation of Mitra. What are we going to do when we realize the strength of dimension of understanding of the creation? Mankind has reached a point to walk away from making so many names for the same process. Now has to find a name in a dimension of emotion to understand how you change love to death. Creating a child through the love of the body, to using the same body to create cancer, to bring the demise to physicality. Is the psychosomatic change of temperature or the change of pressure? Is that the magnetical or gravitational? Hasn't been the understanding of what we call the pressure gravitational and magnetical for the giving, for the love. Now we understand. You have a gravity and you have a magnetic field. You have a temperature and you have a pressure. How would you convert the emotion of one to the other, or carry in essence the emotion of totality? This is what I said to you. The teaching has changed and it will change because now you have to understand the parallel, the understanding of the fields of the plasma and the matter state, and what is what and how you can interfere and how you interact. The teaching of creation is the teaching to understand the interaction of the fields which led to that creation. There is nothing else in the world of creation except interaction of what in the world of cooking you want rice, you want potato. In the world of creation, you want plasma. You want free fields to be able to decide how to interact to become the rice or the potato. This is the part which I many times explain. Vegetarians say, I don't eat meat, I don't kill an animal. Have you forgotten? Every grain of the rice has a soul. Have you forgotten that you have fooled yourself by deferring and fooling yourself in what the strength feels you want to take? This is what we call, this is what we see, this is what we understand, this is what we interact with. This is where the world of creation takes a new dimension and meaning. This is where the world of creation, where the world of science, where the world of plasma, where the world of interaction of the fields creates for us to understand new dimensions, new understanding, new processes, new look in the whole world of understanding of the creation. Then, would you like me to increase the emotion of love, or would you like me to increase the temperature of the room? Would I melt you with my love, or would you melt in the temperature in the dimension of physicality? I can melt you with giving and loving, and the environment can melt you with temperature to burn, to liquidify. Doesn't this happen when the soul of the man leaves the soul of physicality in the coffin, that we become that liquid again? We change the state due to conversion of the fields of our own, and nothing else. Now we understand. We need to understand as we change the soul of the man to the matter state of physicality of the environment. Then, what is the next level of understanding? Why do we have to understand this? Because if we don't understand this, do not become the man of the universe. Do not become the travelers of the universe. Because if you get it wrong and don't understand the strength of the field of the emotion, then you'll be trapped in the liquidification of your matter state of emotion. And that'll be not much good, because the soul will be free in so many ways. Or can I create a condition that I can call back in the matter state to be within me, that the soul becomes that carrier? What, in a hidden way, the interatomic fusion paper complains and confirms. The soul, the physicality of the man, is all interaction of the fields, of the environment, in respect to the plasma which has created the environment, and in respect to the matter state fields of the fields themselves that led to the creation of that plasma. In a way of understanding, I made man in the image of myself. And in that respect, if that is what the man is made in the image of, our own creator is conditional to strength fields of his environment and the love and the dimension he agreed to create life in the dimension of the soul. Does this mean that now we understand much easier the world of science? Now this means that we understand in much better way that everything being even in a matter state, electron condition, is the interaction of the fields and nothing else. If the two do not interact due to different field strength of the same electrons in combination of the totality of the field solar matter, you cannot mix it. But if you know the process, then you can create what you want. In Farsi, we have a beautiful saying. We say, if you wait, I can make from sour grapes the sweetest sweets. But I know, I need time. I need to understand the change of the position and the strength of the field. And then it becomes sweet. Then it becomes to what it can interact. This is what we need to understand. Time, position, feel the strength, and whatever you call temperature or pressure. But in essence, they all are manifestation of the interaction of the fields of the universe in different strength. And once we understand this, we can even become soul in the heart of a stone in the matter state. As is in the holy writings, even stone has a soul. Soul is the soul of the man within the stone of the body of the man. As sometimes man becomes so cold that the stone is much warmer than the existence of the man. How much do we understand this? And how much we can change the field of strength to manifest the soul in the dimension of the physical. Then, can we understand this? And can we be able to bring the condition of existence into the dimension of the soul and vice versa? I hope you understood well enough what and where the technology is going. I hope now you understand where we sit with the new knowledge and have no fear to move from the dimension of the soul to manifestation of physicality, where the totality of the fields of the inertia, what we call the soul of physicality, has to interact with the soul to be able to give it the manifestation of presentation and observation. In a way, the soul of physicality is the inertia of the fields of the matter states or condition of existence for the soul, but connected and controlled by the soul in respect to position and distance. The way it was said, the electron is released from the center of the neutron to find its own dimension and position in the trajectory of its fields to become the finger of the man, or to become the toe of the man, or become the cell of the heart of the man. Understanding this, the world of creation becomes much simpler. Becomes, in a way, a message between the soul of the man and the soul of physicality of the man. And in a way, the emotion, what you call emotion, becomes the prophet. The one between the two that they understand each other, the one which communicates between the two, and both give for the other to exist. Now we understand how the position and time in field strength and environmental field strength lead to the creation and the position of one or the other. Mankind is ready for that change. The race of the man is ready to understand the final point. The race of the man is ready to accept the knowledge of the creation. Not by force and by the books, but by the emotion of understanding the feeling of the creation, as there are no books and there are no words in the world of the creation of the universe. Many of you are waiting for next Tuesday, 22nd of February, to see what would happen. Would he manifest himself in the dimension of the creation, or would he become the creation of the understanding of the, what you call the Mehdi? Mehdi is within you. It's you who decides understanding and no one else. It's you who becomes part of and becomes to understand the totality of the whole creation. How do we understand? How do we go to understand? How do we find the comprehension of the totality? Don't need to be a professor or bricklayer or a child in the womb of the mother. We can understand the whole lot in 1 second. We can all be enlightened in a matter of time, zero time, place, and space. But have you understood the process of the creation? That is your freedom. When you understand the process, this is what you call the day of judgment. When you understand how to convert the soul of the man in the dimension of the soul of physicality of the environment to create that man, irrespective of the time, place, and position, call him black, call him white, call him Martian, and call him to come from planet Zeus. What are we looking for? That's the day when the Mahdi comes, when in fact the Mahdi is within us and we are part of his existence. Maybe as knowledge seekers, maybe we understand more, maybe we see more. What happens to us? What will happen to our emotion when we understand that it's us who has kept the truth away from us by lack of understanding that, and not understanding the reality that all dimension field of the strength of the universe are the same. We have chosen the wrong or different names for the same process. I've met the eyes. I've met your heart with my love. Is that temperature the same? Or is it the strength of the fields of different time, position, and space? Why do we become emotionless and feelingless in respect to one we loved so much once? Have we become that heat which has become pressure? Has it become that love which has become hate and separation? Isn't the same word, the same emotion for the same condition of environment? Then we'll see when we come the matter of space, we decide what to fall in love at what temperature and pressure and one strength of the field of the emotion. Then at the point of manifestation, we decide to be the stone, the man, the bird, or the water. And it's done so naturally that we have never understood the totality of the creation. When you say, I love you, does it mean truly I love you? Does it mean truly that I give you so much that you show your beauty by falling in love with me to show me your love? Isn't that the true understanding of the world of creation is? Isn't that what we've been looking for all that time? Someone to fall in love with, that we can create from the manifestation of interaction of the field of the emotion of love, the children of the creation. Then we understand. Then we appreciate the totality of the creation. Then we understand that every one of us is the Mahdi of his own soul. And it needs one soul to feel that force in the dimension of the strength of the field of the emotion of the man, in the dimension of the love what is created, that every other soul changes. And that can be instantaneous if one understands the true meaning of love. The true meaning of unconditional love, which comes from Mitra, in both dimensions of the soul and physicality, and in essence, unlimited access to the totality of the whole existence in all dimensions, position, and time. Are you in covalence with your lover? Or Have you decided that the fields of strength in one position cannot allow the mixing? And I want the change. I want not to be or in love or in interaction with the other. We define love. I define field strength. In the dimension of environment, we call it pressure and heat. In the dimension of the physicality of man, we call it hate and love, possession or giving, generosity or animosity. In what strength, to what extent mankind will be able to share the totality. To what strength mankind would be ready to bring that change. To what strength would mankind be ready to understand the essence of the creation. Maybe today's teaching brings you to understand where the transmission, transmutation, and transportation of the fields in the matter state, the elements of the condition of the plasma and the soul of man will be. I made man in the image of myself. Is the man the image of the soul of the man? Or is it in essence the image of the soul of the creator, where the man is creator of life and himself by itself? Then does it mean when you look at the man who wears a face of joy, laughter, generosity, is the reflection of his soul? And when you see the man so mean and so destructive, is the reflection of the soul wanting to gain without giving. Then when you see a man, you see the soul of the man, but the feature of the man. Then you go back to many teachings which are given. I know the man by walking in front of me, what man I have, because his feature shows me the feature of his soul. Cannot deny, cannot lie. The love of creation creates the creator, not the creator out of his love, the creation. Maybe we have understood the whole process of the creation back to front the wrong way, or maybe we have to understand one leads to another and another leads to the one. Now you understand why the teaching has to go this way, because you have to become aware of the existence and how you manifest yourself. Once I put you in the what I call enhancement unit, travel you from one position to another. I'm coming from China, but I don't like to look Chinese. When I receive and arrive in London or in New York, I want to be blonde and blue eyes that no one knows I'm a Chinese origin. But I still enjoy, and I go to the Chinese restaurant and enjoy it because within me, I carry the essence and pride and joy of being one. Would we become the chameleon of our emotions? Or does our soul use the chameleon of emotion to manifest us in the dimension of physicality? Does an animal changes its color due to the emotion of the existence and not by chemicals? I'd like to be the shape of my environment and the color of my environment. That way I guarantee the soul will stay alive. Would mankind do that? If you walk in a community of totally strangers, you're the only odd one out. You stand out, but you're one of them. You're part of it. You're not noticed. Doesn't matter what you put on. Then you understand why we created the universal council that works through the soul and not dimension of physicality. that it works through understanding the field of the creation of the higher order than working with the lower order in the name of the prophets and religions. Mankind has been given a gift by creation of Universal Council. I hope you will understand. Where the soul of the Universal Council becomes the soul of the creation, and with it, the manifestation of the new cycle of man that shall not kill. So pure that will not do wrong. Where the collective soul of the Universal Council, in the presence of the soul of Mitra, will become the Mitra itself, the essence of love and creation for the Creator, which is within an understanding of the totality. I said we need one soul to change the soul of many. And that one soul, which has the strength to do and is connected to all the souls in all dimensions, is the soul of Mitra. As she was created from every strand of the souls of the strength of the universe, so is connected with all and lives amongst all and is part of all, and what we call every ray which is emanated from the soul of the Creator, which led from Mitra to collect to create the child of man. We come to the point where mankind has to understand the creation of one to the other. And in essence, one is the other, but one is conditioned to the environmental strength field of itself. I hope today's teaching open your eyes in transmutation of the soul of the man to the dimension of the physicality. And at the point of what man has been with the dimension of physicality has made the soul of the child to become the man with all the problems in different fields of strength, which is the shorter fields of existence in the dimension of his own environment. I made man in the image of myself. Is the image of man the image of his soul? And as I said, what would you like to remember or be remembered of that dimension of physicality of the soul? Would the time will come that as we drink a glass of water to satisfy the thirst, we drink a glass of love to satisfy the conformation of and completion of the existence of the soul by itself. Both the cup to give life, one with love and one with dimension of physicality. I hope you understood the essence of the teaching today. I hope it's much clearer for you as knowledge seekers what is to come in the dimension of transmutation and transportation, and they feel the strength and difference among the field of strength to lead to the creation of everything that the man needs for his survival and life of his soul in the dimension of creation. Thank you very much for today. And I hope I brought you one dimension closer to the understanding of your own creation and the reason you're here and you're being created. If you're created in the dimension of the physicality of the man and then the soul has come from it, you have the pitfalls of the man's pitfall in the dimension of physicality in the structures environment. Would these pitfalls be a benefit, an advantage in another dimension of the creation, or would it be the demise of the same? It's for man to understand the next process. It's for man to understand where he wants to position that soul, that it has the totality as much possible, the vast variety of the strength that it can survive in every dimension in the creation, in respect of the field strength, position, time, and inertia of the matter state of the soul of physicality. Today's teaching is very deep if you understand. But if you understood and start grasping the totality of it, then you have understood what will be of you in the position of the transportation using what we call enhancement units. Anyway, this teaching of today is for the travelers up to tomorrow in the dimension of the soul of physicality. Thank you very much, Ray. If you would like to go through a break and we come back, we'll see where we go.
Okay, very good, Mr. Kesh. This has been the 420th Knowledge Seekers Workshop here on Thursday, February 17th, 2022. And we'll play some of the ads from the Kesh Foundation during the intermission here. And I'll be back in a few minutes.